All right, it's been a while since I did a story time video, but I'm gonna try to do one quick because I gotta go to work. But let's get it in. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Innuendo. If you don't get it, we innuendo. But if you with it, when it's finished, in the end, you win. Man, let's go. Look, I'm back at it like a bad habit. Another video for you guys. This is pretty much a situation that happened at work the other day. Working at a company, things change. A person who's been there the longest, management, and stuff, it don't really matter the title. Stuff can change. So certain situations, like I can't just base it off of, okay, I've been there longer, so I know more than you, or whatever the case. Like, you know what I mean? So like you can't say, oh, manager, obviously they're gonna know more than associate, whatever the case is. So you can't like, it could be something that the person didn't know, and I can accept that, as well as the other person should be able to accept that as well. So it's a certain way to talk to people and stuff like that, right? So this situation happens the other day where it's me and the other manager and the associates on shift, and we're getting called up for a key turn. I come up there to do the key turn, and the associate asks, a guy was returning something and he paid more on the receipt, and it went down, marked down in the system. So they was asking, how do you fix that? And I simply just say, you just hit price override, right? Because I'm thinking that's all you have to do. I've never had that issue before, and I was told it doesn't work. So sometimes you might have to get like a item similar, which you should never do. I don't even know why that was suggested. That messes up with inventory. So you should never suggest like go get an item that's similar price. Now they also mentioned like sometimes they do like the stuff in the system. You got to go in the system on the computer and stuff. Okay, that's fine. Maybe that could have been the situation, but that wasn't the situation. Which I later found out and later explained that what I was saying was accurate. It was just I didn't realize that the employee, the associate, had hit a button both times, and it threw me off because I didn't realize that they hit like enter a total. Because like as soon as you scan an item for a return, the first thing that pop up is price override. If you hit total or enter whatever, you cannot go back and then it show that price override. You got to redo the whole thing, and I didn't know that. And I was asking, and I think it was just maybe the constant asking of what happened, what did you do something, you had that done something, and maybe it was more, I was trying to give off the implication of that was a suggested thing, that it was possible that but it's like we're so soft nowadays that you gotta really like be careful with your words. So if I sit there and say something a certain kind of way, somebody's gonna look and be offended, be like, I had that done, so excuse you, rather than me just saying, okay, maybe do you like I gotta hold people hand and be a babysitter. Like, maybe do you think it was possible that you probably accidentally, not on purpose, I promise, but like accidentally, holding their hand by the way, accidentally, maybe like brushed up against a button or pressed like a button or something to make it where the price override thing isn't popping up, perhaps. But I feel like even saying that, and to the extent of like me asking, trying to figure out what happened, made the person like kind of frustrated. An associate just quick to like hurry up and like, okay, what's the numbers? Okay, boop, boop, boop. All right, what do I do next? And it's like, no, we got to step by step this thing. And that's what was the issue, because it wasn't being step by step. And so stuff was happening way too fast for me to like figure out what the world the person was even doing. And in the heat of the moment, if it's too much going on and they're doing stuff not consciously thinking about it, they're gonna sit there and be like, oh, I still didn't press anything, so what you're saying is the price override, we should be able to do it, and it's still not working. So I don't think you know what you're talking about. And that's what blew me, because I sitting there like, no, it works. Like it always works. Like I wouldn't be that confident in what I'm saying if it didn't work. But my tone and my voice never changed. I think it was just a simple fact of me trying to figure out what button they press, because they press a button and they sitting there thinking in their self like, I didn't press anything. So what are you talking about? And that probably frustrated them. And what I was doing wasn't working. So they was just like, okay, I'm just going to call the other manager up and have them figure it out. And I was like, no, it works. I'm trying to figure out what happened because I don't know what, like, and okay, fine, maybe, but it's like they did do something. But I guess if you say somebody did something and they not conscious about knowing that they did it, they gonna get offended with you because they didn't know they did something. So you're saying they did something, they thinking you're accusing them of doing something that they didn't already know they did. Like, okay, so I guess that was my fault, right? Because you didn't know you did something. So I'm like sitting there like, you had to have done something because it works. It does work. It always works. It never not works for me. And once we would have had a moment for me to figure out like that it works, then I'll be like, oh, see, here you go. But the thing wasn't even that. Like, okay, fine. I get maybe it was a frustration of me saying that or whatever, but address that rather than catch an attitude or whatever, because then it went from that, and then the associate claimed that my facial expression changed, but they were still messing with me or whatever. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? My thing was like, first and foremost, so when the other manager came over and I was trying to figure it out, they kind of dismissed me in a way of saying like, oh no, I'll have this manager handle it actually instead or whatever. But it was like the response or whatever the case was. And also too, I guess I had the receipt in my hand, and so the associate claimed they just grabbed the receipt from my hand. They didn't push me or touch me or anything like that. First of all, let me ask you guys that. Does that make any sense? How can you not touch somebody that is holding an item that you have to grab? Like, there has to be physical contact. If I'm holding a receipt in my hand and somebody goes to grab it, you see how much close fingers are to like grabbing that thing? And if a person snatches it or like whatever the case or accident, and I told them it could have been a mistake, but you definitely touched me and kind of push, like, had me go to the side. And even in the moment I said like, you just gonna like push me to the side or whatever. Like I said everything as it was happening, and I said that was very rude, and I don't appreciate that. And I'm saying stuff in the moment, and because they were upset and not hearing what's going on, they are not conscious of like, oh, did I do that or whatever the case is. So that situation happened, right? And they're just kind of frustrated with me, whatever the case, I guess, because I was suggesting that a button was pressed. And I'm like, that really all it took for you to get upset was because I said that a couple times, really? So what got me was like, okay, fine. So that situation happened, but we went to go fix it on the other manager thing, and the manager themselves freaking hurried up, and I was trying to figure out, I was like, no, it shows up. I was like, well, hold on, what are you? And then as soon as and I'm glad, this is why I try to like, I had to pay attention, because they tried to do it again and they hurried up and hit enter. I was like, wait, no. I was like, right there, it said price override right there. I caught it right there, because that's how quick the brain moves, and they just be boop, boop, like they hurry up and just press the buttons in like 3 seconds and be like, okay, it's not working, so what are you talking about? And it's like, no, you just hit like 7 buttons in like 3 seconds. So that I caught him. So like even a manager can make the mistake. A manager who's been a manager longer than me, even though I've been in the company longer than her. But so like they sit there, hurry up and did that. So we redid it, and then I showed them. I was like, right there. It's like, see, and then did it, and then it worked. And I was like, it was that simple. It was just the quickness of the associate and the manager doing that fast. My situation was with the associate, but as quickly as you can quickly press those buttons and not even consciously think about that, it's crazy. And so now it's like that was that fast, and then I'm sitting there looking crazy. Like, obviously you had to press the button, because the manager literally did it in 3 seconds and was confused of what, like, didn't know why it wasn't popping up either. It was like, oh, I guess it's not working. That was kind of the mindset right after. I was like, no, hold on. And then when they did it again, I was like, oh, right there. I caught it. So that was the thing. And so I was like, I was right. So, and that's how I knew you had to press the button, and you did. So I get it's not always about being right, but I'm trying to show people like the right way to do things, And the thing was, it's like, even when we get to it back and have a separate conversation, a misunderstanding, let me say this very clearly. A misunderstanding is completely different from a person lying. And the associate kept insinuating, or I don't know. the associate kept suggesting that I was lying when I started talking and saying stuff or whatever. And like the stuff that I was saying was like, no, he's lying. It's like, I'm not though. It was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding does not mean I'm lying. Now, in the instant of me suggesting you press the button, I can understand that misunderstanding entirely of you thinking, okay, he kept saying I pressed the button, which I didn't, so that must have been a lie. But it's like, no, none of it was a lie. You hit a button. None of it was a lie. So there was just a misunderstanding. And I told her that. I was like, I was like, none of that. But every time she spoke, the worst came out. I was like, don't do that. That's very rude. And I have an issue with people saying that I'm a liar when I'm not lying. Don't do that. Don't do that. If I'm not lying, don't be like, he's lying. I despise that. I try not to say, hey, I despise that. Because now you're sitting there saying, okay, he's a liar. He's lying. Like, I don't like that. Especially when I'm not lying. If you don't know all the answers, you don't know all the facts, and I'm processing everything, and you're just kind of in emotions at the moment. It's not I'm lying. It's a misunderstanding. Lying and me just fabricating stuff on purpose and stuff, and it's just not true at all. Which it was clear that what I said was true because I had did it with the manager right there. I had showed the manager the price override thing that I was talking about with the associate actually did work with that same exact item that we was having a trouble with, and a button had been pressed by the manager as quickly as it did with the associates. So that's when I had asked that same question. Just because you're not knowledgeable to know that you did something doesn't mean that I'm lying. It's just you didn't know that you did it. She had apologized as far as feeling like she was being rude. She claimed she didn't touch me, even though I clearly don't think. I'm like, if it was an accident, I can understand. Maybe you didn't realize you did it, and that's fine. But you did. You think I'm gonna sit here and say you didn't touch me, bro? Like, what? Come on now. You just want to make me look like the bad guy the whole time over a misunderstanding? That's not how you handle yourself or handle your business, especially my black queens. Come on now. I don't care female emotions and all that other stuff. You gotta handle yourself a lot better, and like emotional and just anything like that. Especially if a misunderstanding. That's where communication comes in. It's not about getting into your emotions and stuff and getting flustered up because I suggested that you hit a button a couple more times than you felt comfortable hearing. Okay, fine. I can apologize for the way my words were phrased because that was the issue. But other than that, I'm not lying, and I'm not going to apologize for anything else because I didn't do anything else wrong. Anything else was the way you were talking to me, the way you dismissed me, and everything like that. And I felt like that was disrespect. And there was a customer who kind of said he was a manager too and was like chiming in, and I'm just like, no, that's not helping at all. That wasn't helping at all. We probably should have handled that situation like away, but that's still a teachable moment and a learn moment and stuff, regardless of how cool she gonna be with me today or tomorrow, whatever the case is. She still has to understand that that's still not cool, and hopefully, because she's my sign, and female's my sign. Is like my ex was a Pisces, so I kind of already that was kind of like a rant story time, but I'm a hurry up and get out of here. I appreciate you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. I'm putting videos out every single week. We're on the road to 400 with 3 something. I don't even know, bro. I'm just kind of yeah. I got a woo-saw, eat some food, and I'll talk with you guys tomorrow. I'm off Friday, so let's get it in. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Stay blessed. No stress. Good God. Take it to rest. I'll see you guys in the next, man. Peace out.